Hello everybody, this is the two Southerners finally uploading a video.
Yeah, after like, what was it, over a year now, surely.
Way over a year. Anyway, I'm Masterath.
And I'm Anderson0132.
And welcome to Really Wrestling, Really.
Sure.
Yeah. Which will be our weekly show where we discuss the happenings in wrestling.
Unfortunately.
So let's kick things off with Mondays and Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, Monday Night Raw, the main WWE show, actually, which has been going on now for way over 1,000 episodes, so...
Yeah. Well, I think it was episode number 1010.
Something like that.
I think, and, well, let's just say, basically, I'm sorry to WWE, same thing happens all the time on Raw.
It does, it gets a little bit obvious.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it was a bit odd, I think it was last week or the week before, with Paul Heyman proposing. That was an odd bit.
I'm sorry, right, okay, but WWE, you have a man who is a genius. I'm sorry, I don't care what you can say about Paul Heyman. The man is a genius when it comes to booking, or when it comes to commentary, or when it comes to anything. Use him properly. Instead, you're having him with a whiny moron who could have been the next frickin' Stone Cold Steve Austin, but now he's the next Little Miss Bitch, who's the next Justin Bieber for WWE, pretty much. Why didn't they use him better? But no, they have him proposing to AJ for random reasons.
I think it was because that CM Punk was... Well, basically we all know that John Cena is the... You know, the cash cow,
The
they say.
poster child.
Yeah, the poster child. Anyway, and due to CM Punk's amazing success with, especially the older viewers, you know, people who have been waiting for, like, for example, another Attitude Era or whatever, or at least another Attitude Wrestler.
Yeah.
And for CM Punk to come along and to be really extremely edgy as a heel, and for people to like him, that was sort of Attitude Era-esque of, for example, Rock and a Steve Austin sort of thing. And when WWE saw this and saw the CM Punk merchandise go, they thought, wait a minute, this is bad. This is the first time ever I think Vince has ever said, wait a minute, this is bad. We're making money, this is bad. Because it's drawing the attention away from John Cena. Because, let's just put it this way. John Cena has not been WWE champion for over a year.
Yes.
Right? That is unheard of in WWE, and I never thought we'd ever see that.
Nor did I, to be honest. I mean, I remember that when John Cena was actually good. He's... You know, I mean, for example, that was that brilliant matchup of his against JBL in that first blood match. That was a nice match. That was a very good match.
Which one was that?
You know, the one at, oh god, what was it? An I Quit match?
Oh yeah, that was Judgment Day,
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day 5, yeah.
Yeah, very good match, though. And that was the Cena that we all first saw and loved. You know, the badass who didn't take no crap from anyone. And to be honest,
yeah, and had more than 5 moves.
Yeah, more than 5 moves. And to be honest, right, I mean, you may flame me for saying this, but that kind of, well, he also had, like, Stone Cold-esque sort of style about him. I mean, he wasn't exactly face-like.
No,
he stuck up against the heels.
Then again, there's a lot of wrestlers that have had that. You know, Austin, Rock, even like Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, that's why I said it was like a Austin sort of esque.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really say it's like Austin-esque, but I do get what you mean. The whole idea of like him being the sort of a badass face.
Yeah.
You know, and getting cheered for it and stuff like that. But yeah, the whole idea of CM Punk. Oh, in 2011, finally they got him a brilliant character. You know, it was absolutely brilliant, but it was because it was drawing attention away from their poster child, John Cena.
Yeah.
You know, the person to sort of keep their younger viewers interested. Because let me guess, just think, the younger viewers would not like CM Punk.
No, they would.
Because of how edgy he is.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what's ruining WWE. I mean, WWE got to where it is today because of how popular the edgy side of it was back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. For example, before the early 90s, or before the mid 90s, there was no real competition. I mean, yeah, there was WCW, but it wasn't
as big as it was in the late 90s.
It wasn't as big. So the only way for WWE to fight back was to go for something edgy. Yeah. Hence, the Attitude Era came along.
Look at 1995. That was when the company was close to being bankrupt. I mean, did you see about that WrestleMania that year? I mean, it looked like an indie show.
Yeah.
It looked pretty much like an indie show, and it was basically because they then added the dark edginess to it and the tough badass characters and stuff like that. which would have made it escalate from being close to bankruptcy to being the biggest promotion in America.
Yeah.
And then
basically, I guess we're going to have to move on from, like, for example, Monday Night Raw and stuff like that. Basically, John Cena wasn't there.
yes!
Because he was still recovering from his elbow surgery.
By the way, I do actually sincerely mean that.
Yeah. And of course, you know, speaking of sincereness or whatever, they've got the right man to replace Jerry Lawler for the moment in JBL.
Yeah.
They did, but JBL is actually doing a mountain climb right now, and he's basically wanting to climb the highest summits in, like, the world or whatever. He's already reached the top of Kilimanjaro.
Oh, full credit to him. I mean, he's good, you know. Good rock climber, good commentator. Can't really moan.
Yeah. So at the moment they've got the dreaded duo of Jim Ross and Michael Cole.
Oh,
Which isn't good. But anyway, this is the first time I'm going to say this. You know, it's nice, as I said, to have Jim Ross back on normal television instead of him being on, like, NXT or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, all hopes to Jerry Lawler and a speedy recovery.
Yeah, very, very much so. He's a legend, and hopefully he'll be better soon.
Right, okay, we move on to Friday Night SmackDown then. Again, not really much happened. Oh, by the way, back to Raw for a little bit. The little conference thing between Sheamus and Big Show. Bit of an odd one there, but this is where there was like a moment in it where Big Show's podium collapses.
Yeah, that was a bit stupid.
And Big Show, everyone say, oh, being serious, and then he just goes, do I get a new podium? Like,
Just, yeah.
I broke my podium. I leaned on it, it gave way. I'm slightly overweight. And it's like, you're supposed to be blood. That was hilarious.
You're supposed to be healing it up. What he should have said was he should have just said, do I get a new podium? I'm the biggest thing in this company. I demand a new podium. That would have been heelish. Perfect. Brilliant.
Yeah, but you can just tell from that Big Show is still an entertainer.
Yeah, he's still an entertainer. And it's a shame. I was really hoping with this new gimmick of his that they were going to push him toward being the unstoppable fat badass that he should have been back in the day. Instead of being used as... But he's basically a put-over object.
Yeah, well, that's what he's been used for over the years. But if you look at, you know, for example, Big Show... There was a moment with CM Punk a few years ago. This is when CM Punk had long hair.
Yes. So
it was quite a while ago. And Big Show just going, you go with a fat joke? You go with a fat joke? I've lost weight! Looks around and just goes, okay, I found it. You know, he would do a funny joke like that, you know. And anyway... So, yeah, that was sort of a funny segment or whatever, and, you know, with Sheamus dressing up with a Rey Mysterio mask. That was a bit odd. Anyway, moving on to Friday Night SmackDown. I don't get the whole rivalry between Randy Orton and Alberto Del Rio. That
is a really stupid rivalry. It should never happen. I mean, everyone that knows me well will know that I'm not a fan of Alberto Del Rio in any way, shape or form. They pushed him...
I think he was pushed too early.
They pushed him way too early. He's talentless. He's... annoying. I mean, I guess that means he's doing his job right as a heel, but at the end of the day...
So basically what you're saying is Alberto Del Rio is annoying, but you already knew that.
Yes. He's a good heel. Have to give him props for that, but his in-ring talent is awful. Freaking awful. And
I'm sorry though, but on Friday Night SmackDown, he impersonated Randy Orton's walk to the ring. I'm sorry. What is it with Alberto Del Rio impersonating people? Because he normally gets his ass kicked by them. I mean, for example, he got Ricardo Rodriguez to impersonate Sheamus at one point.
Exactly.
Yeah, and to try and impersonate... I don't know. That whole rivalry between Orton and Alberto Del Rio, I know they're trying to keep their main eventers going against each other, but for God's sake, push someone else upwards. For example, for God's sake, right? You know...
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes, exactly. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. Right? Fully.
Good.
Right? Or Randy Orton, Wade Barrett, and put it as an actual storyline instead of it just being a random crap
Yeah, I mean, that
whatever.
There is a good feud, Wade Barrett, Randy Orton.
Yeah. Or, you know, okay, right. And put, like, for example, you know, someone else in, for example, Justin Gabriel. For God's sake, push him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I really want to see a feud or a team-up. Most probably a feud between Cody Rhodes and Justin Gabriel.
Well, at the moment, Cody Rhodes is going for the tag team championships with Damien Sandow.
Yeah.
I know.
Damien Sandow.
And yeah, what can you say? And of course, the Ryback revolution continues.
Yeah, he's basically the new Goldberg. Everybody says.
That's what a lot of people are saying. And
Yes.
you can sort of understand people's viewpoint on him being the new Goldberg.
What does he do? He squashes
bald.
jobbers.
He's bald.
He's bald. He squashes jobbers. He's got a really weird name.
And he's got an undefeated record. Well, the entire idea of him being called Ryback is he's called Ryan Reeves, and his nickname was the Silverback. Silverback, Ryan, Ryback. That's the way it goes. And that's how he got his name. Yeah, and this whole idea of Ryback, whatever, okay, he's good. But start putting him up against people who are decent, not putting him up against bleeding Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, put him up against, you know, oh god, put him up against, actually no, they already put him up against The Miz, and he won.
I want to see him go against Wade Barrett, actually.
Yes! Put him up against Wade Barrett, put him up against Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean, come on, okay, let's look at stuff.
Put him up against Damien Sandow, please, just shut him up.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at this sort of stuff, right, okay. Alright, when you think of matches of wrestlers to go against each other, what do you expect? You mean, you think of Ryback versus, let's say Cody Rhodes. That sounds like a great match, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But then you think of stuff like going back to their main eventers, Randy Orton versus Alberto Del Rio. Who in their right mind would think that and think 5-star classic? No one.
Obviously, the writers do.
Well, that's because they're freaking brain-dead idiots who don't know how to book.
I can see this show being extremely edgy.
Yes.
I can really see it, and mainly from you.
What would you expect? I'm a ranter, is what I do.
Good point, good point. Anyway, so we're going to move off SmackDown, and we're going to go to TNA.
Yeah.
Now, TNA, the whole rivalry between, I guess, between Austin Aries and Jeff Hardy continues for another week, as we get closer and closer to Bound for Glory.
Bound for Glory, of course, their main show. They're basically
the biggest pay-per-view of the year. They are touting as being the biggest pay-per-view of the year. They're not saying biggest pay-per-view of TNA in the year. They're saying biggest of the year. Yeah. So they're really pushing it. I just hope they follow up with it. And, you know, having Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries in the main event, it's nice. You see Austin Aries in the ring.
Austin Aries
he
is a very
is
talented wrestler.
By far, in my opinion, the most talented wrestler I've ever seen is Austin Aries.
He is one of the most talented of all time. He's up there with Shelton Benjamin on my list.
Yeah, right. And Jeff Hardy, you know, the baby face, you know, the crowd loves him. Austin Aries has been a sort of like an Austin, a CM Punk sort of thing. He does look like CM Punk as well as Austin Aries.
When you also think, like, back in his ROH days, right, okay, back when Samoa Joe was in ROH, when ROH was like, well, at its prime, in my opinion, actually.
You mean back in the days when ROH had like Abyss and stuff?
Yeah. Samoa Joe, right, held that title for over, I believe it was over 2 years, or just under 2 years, one of those. No, just under 2 years, I'm not too sure, I can't remember now. But basically, like, they got Austin Aries to break the record. Now, ROH, right, got a guy called, got Austin Aries to beat their poster child, pretty much, in Samoa Joe, for the title. That says something about Austin Aries.
That was the passing of the torch. And, you know, I said Austin Aries' gimmick in TNA, the greatest man that ever lived. If you look at that, there's no way that he could be, like, for example, a sort of a face character. Exactly. But people love him.
Yeah.
You know, he's currently going on like a tween or whatever. But anyway, we're getting low on time, so you might as well like brush through a few of the other things with TNA. The Aces and Eights against Hogan and Sting. They finally released their tag team, the tag team partner with Sting at Bound for Glory against two members of Aces and Eights was going to be Mr. Anderson. But Mr. Anderson was found unconscious, beaten up by Aces and Eights. So instead, it's going to be, of all people, Bully Ray.
Really? With
Sting. Now, this is the thing. I love this idea by TNA. One, that Hogan's not wrestling. He's way past it.
Go for that.
So it's going to be Sting and Bully Ray. And this could be the thing, because Bully Ray is still a heel.
Yeah, well,
Bully Ray could screw Sting.
And join Aces of Eights.
No, he could just screw Sting completely.
Yeah.
For not giving him a world title shot or whatever. Or he could team up with Sting, beat Aces and Eights, and turn face, or he could beat Aces and Eights and still be a heel.
Yeah, he could beat.
So I like the idea with Bully Ray.
Sting at the end. Aces and Eights, of course, are a really good team match. I do like the idea of them.
Really good stable.
Unknown stable. They're unknown. They're dark, they're edgy. Edgy, again, edgy is what is needed in wrestling, pretty much.
That's what TNA is all about, though.
TNA is doing what WWE is doing, not doing, which is right.
That'll do. I think that's about it. Also, what have we got? Oh yeah, the tag team of TNA is starting to get again more to the point. You've got the current tag team champions, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian.
Which is one of the greatest tag team ideas I think I've ever seen in my life.
They're going up against two tag teams. They're going up against the tag team of Kurt Angle and AJ Styles.
Bit of an odd tag team, but then again they used to...
It's odd. Sometimes the odd tag teams work. For example, WWE had, like, for example, Kane and Rob Van Dam, Rock and Sock.
Yeah, then again, also, to be fair, they also were part of one of the better heel stables back in the day of TNA, with Tomko.
Yep.
For those of you who actually remember that.
Tomko, I don't remember him, or his beard, or his tribal tattoos. I don't remember Tomko.
Yeah, he's a bit weird.
Yeah. So, and also, it's going to be a Bound for Glory is going to be a triple threat tag team match, and it's going to be, so we've got the tag team champions, we've got Kazarian, and we've got Christopher Daniels, going up against Kurt Angle and AJ Styles, and the wild cards, in my opinion, Hernandez and Chavo Guerrero. The Mexicans, basically.
I'll tell you what, I miss LAX. I really do miss LAX.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think this could work, because again, Chavo Guerrero's small.
Chavo Guerrero, in my opinion, vastly underused.
Vastly underused. I hope that they use these two as a great tag.
I think Chavo's finally found his home, and it's good. Because, if I'm honest with you, most of the opportunities that Rey Mysterio got, half of them should have gone to Chavo Guerrero.
Oh, any day of the week.
Chavo should have got more than just an ECW championship.
Yeah. He should have done. I mean, and you know, and then there was that freaking retarded bloody feud with Hornswoggle. What was that one?
And him being Jack Swagger's Soaring Eagle.
Yeah.
You can sort of understand why he left in the first place. And he went to TNA, you know, and, along with a lot of other people who are in Rocking Ring.
Yeah.
Or Ra Ring King, I can't remember, some of that. It's TNA's developmental territory. You know, people like David Hart Smith, or D.H. Smith, and Chris Masters, for example.
Yes.
They've both gone to Rocking Ring, and, you know, them all the best for how they do, because I think they'll do brilliantly.
I just hope that basically, and I think it will, TNA will use the team of Hernandez and Chavo Guerrero well, and hopefully they'll develop a nice feud for the tag titles.
Yeah, Big Mex and Little Mex.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, as long as they don't have ODB and Eric freaking Young as the team, because that is the most pathetic team I've ever seen. I am sorry. They had a great wrestler in Eric Young, alright? Look at Eric Young when it was World Elite. He made a fantastic heel. They knew what they were doing with him. And then what did they do? They give him a retard gimmick. A retard? He's Eugene. Why did they turn him into Eugene?
I think he's even get the beard.
Now he's got the beard, and now he's with ODB, and it's like, oh my god, he's with an Australian woman. He's with an Australian, well, he's with an Australian wannabe. I mean, come on, you cannot look at ODB and say that she is not from Australia Outback. Alright, I'm sorry.
Bam!
But look at her.
I'd much rather not. Especially when every time she comes to the ring, Taz just goes, it's just me off, they got bigger. Each time I thought, my sentiment's exactly Taz. Right, well, basically, we've got one more thing probably to do. We're up to about 18 minutes, so we're gonna finish off with one more little thing about the TNA World Television Championship.
Yeah.
It'll be at Bound for Glory. It will be Samoa Joe, the newly crowned champion after Devon parted ways with TNA, going up against Magnus.
Yes, I remember when Samoa Joe was, I don't know, not a good wrestler, because he's still a good wrestler in my eyes. I remember when he was actually used back in the day.
He's still sort of being used, but yeah, you know, I guess, you know, TNA is wanting to push the newer talent, for example, Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, James Storm.
I have to give him credit for that. But to be honest, I just don't agree with the television championship. It's pointless. It never has done anything. The guy who has the longest reign is Devon, and he left the company. And the longest reign is only 192 days, which isn't that long. Isn't a long enough reign to be classed as a reasonably good reign.
Well, if you look at it, it's about 6 months, so it's sort of okay for a reign.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it's an okay reign.
Yeah, I think I agree. But I mean, and I also don't agree with the fact that the X Division Championship was made for a certain amount of. Well, you have to be like under a certain weight.
Certain weight
The
category.
whole point of the X Division was it was meant for new talent and for,
Yeah.
for wrestlers that went beyond the level of usual wrestlers to be able to prove themselves.
Or at some point in the case of, for example, Samoa Joe and Abyss, their stature.
Yeah, it was basically a developmentary title for TNA, and then they just ruined it.
And now Zema Ion's got the title.
Oh.
Well, I'm okay with Zema Ion. I don't like his gimmick. His gimmick's crap.
He's
Sort of like, oh, I like to spray my hair all the time. That's not a good gimmick.
No,
You know, it's like the entire.
like having Justin Bieber in there.
Yeah, it's like the entire thing with Robbie E.
Oh.
Sorry, Robbie E. Zack Ryder. What's the differences and what are the similarities? There are a lot more similarities than differences.
Well, first of all, they're both tits.
Put both of them together, they can make a team called Cleavage.
I remember when bloody Zack Ryder was part of La Familia. I mean, come on, that was great, but now he's just... Oh
Yeah, look what happened to Kurt Hawkins as well.
my god.
Teaming up with Vance Archer and whoever else they want him to team up with. Anyway, I think that's about it, actually.
That's it for this week.
Yep, that's it for this episode of Really Wrestling Really. I've been Masterath as always.
And I'm
Well, for the first time.
9132, aka the Walrus.
Yep, and we'll see you next week for more Really Wrestling Really, and yeah.
Keep your eye out for much more other stuff to do with wrestling and other projects to come.
Bye.
Bye.